So I run a blog called Muay Ying, and I got my writing in Muay Thai started via Muay Thai guy. I no longer write for them. I just write for my own blog now. Journalism in Muay Thai, I do my best to be fair in delivering news. I have to take my own personal emotions about the fighter or what I thought about the fight out of the news reporting and just be very factual in what actually happened. So sometimes I even do news reportings on the shows that I fought on. Win or lose, I still have to report the fact that I was in that. Especially if I did lose, I can't just be like, oh, I didn't fight in that because I lost. That's not how things work. Um, it's it's not difficult to get information on Muay Thai because Muay Thai is so big here and there are so many Thai magazines, newspapers, and news outlets. So if I want news, it's easy. However, because for Muay Ying, I try to do not just male fighters but also women fighters, um, it's a little bit harder to find information on women fighters unless they're fighting on TV or fighting on a really big show. So, for example, if it was a temple fair shows, and there was a local title of some sort, the male fighter will definitely make the local Muay Thai news somehow, but the woman fighter probably won't. So it's things like that that make things a little bit difficult. There is also a language barrier. A lot of these news outlets, obviously, they're in Thai, so I would have to either translate them myself to the best of my ability or kind of use context of what's going on or last resort ask for help. So I didn't come with my first trip in Thailand. I didn't have the intention to just stay out here and live out here. My first trip over, it was 3 weeks with some of the people from my gym back home, and I just loved it here. And then, I dreamed of this little fantasy of mine. Oh, wouldn't it be great to just stay out here and live out here and just fight and get better at Muay Thai? And little by little, it kind of just became into reality. Like I came back for 6 months, and then when those 6 months were almost up, I just really didn't feel like the time that I had there at that point was enough. So I just kept extending, and then here we are, just past the 4 year mark. Um, ult- Generally, I decided to stay because it's just easier to get fights here. Back in the States, there's maybe one show a month, and you're lucky to get 4 or 5 fights a year. For me, I didn't start Muay Thai when I was a kid. I started right before I turned 20 years old, which is still before a lot of people that I know. But at 22 years old, I only had 4 fights. And then I just, I love the sport so much, and I want to keep getting better, that I believe fighting and training for a fight, they're just the best, most efficient, and most practical ways to get better at Muay Thai. And for me, that's my main motivator. It's not even to just become the best fighter, but just to get better at the sport. So, where better else to do it than in Thailand? Here you can fight every day if you wanted to. There are definitely shows every day, every week, bigger shows every week, every month. And you can really make something out of yourself if you put in the work. It's not like back home you put in all this work and then you don't get fights, and even if you do get fights, still, who are you? Maybe you're known in within that little community, but you're probably not known within the whole state, definitely not known within the whole country, and definitely not known internationally. But if you're in Thailand, you grind and you start fighting, people start knowing who you are within the entire country, and then people back home will start knowing who you are as well.